So let's talk about Shams for a little bit and how, in my opinion, he could be exposing a major gambling issue for the NBA in the future. Now, as you know, he joined FanDuel 2 years ago to co host a show, which is a gambling company. And it makes you wonder, could there be some bias in the future with his reporting? We saw last year with Scoot Henderson how he said that the Hornets are likely to draft Scoot Henderson, and that was against the betting lines. All of a sudden, the line changed when he made that report, which has you wondering, was that report premeditated? Was it talked about behind the scenes? Was FanDuel telling him, hey, make this tweet, report this so we can move the betters? And it makes you wonder, why would you do that? Because he wasn't favored to go there. He ended up with the Blazers. And could this be a problem in the future? Because if you look back a few weeks ago, I'm going to show this article with you. And, this is what it says here. Shams' conflict of interest keeps swinging NBA gambling markets. Now, this is a concern because if you're a reporter, you want to be credible, right? You don't want to just have this type of reputation. And my biggest concern with this whole thing is, he said the Sixers' interest in Paul George had waned in recent days. This was on June 20th. And then 11 days later, the Sixers signed George to a 4-year, $212 million contract. And I'm wondering to myself, why did you say this in the first place? And it ended up being wrong. Maybe there was some credibility to that. I don't know. But again, when you are associated with a company who wants to gamble, who wants to get their consumers making predictions that might not be correct or that might be correct, and you have a reporter attached to that, a reporter who rivals Woj in getting news out before he does, it makes you wonder, okay, is this guy credible? Is he going to have some bias involved? Because when you're working for a gambling company, they might want you to report certain things that favors what they're putting out. So let's just say there's a head coach out there that is likely to coach the Lakers, for example, like JJ Redick. Let's just say Shams was saying that, he's going to be the Lakers coach. Well, if the betting lines are moving that direction and it ends up being right, you're like, okay, what is going on here? Why is this happening behind the scenes? It makes you start speculating. What if NBA referees get involved with this, where they are fixing games, Or what if, players get involved? See, there's some concerns here because if you go on YouTube and watch an NBA channel, an NFL channel, one of the main ads that people push is gambling sponsorships. You see it with Prize Picks. You see it with FanDuel. Now, as a guy who, cares about his finances, I don't get involved with gambling. I'm not a believer in it. I don't want to risk my money. If you want to do that, that's your personal business, but I don't like to mess with this whatsoever. It can get really nasty quickly and, it can hurt your finances. But again, that's my personal belief. So when I look at this situation, it makes me wonder, are we going to end up in a place where we see a massive NBA gambling scandal? Because that would be a disaster, especially if it's coming from a player who's a superstar. So let's just say in the future, we hear a report about Luka Doncic or Wembanyama, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. They're involved with a scandal that fixed the playoff series or an NBA Finals. Now, all of a sudden, all these questions will start flooding in. Or what if Shams gets caught up in a gambling scandal because FanDuel was pushing him to make reports that favor the betting lines? And Woj made a report about that. It's not a good look because now journalism is looked at question, but we already don't like some of the things we see on ESPN. So do you want to break that trust even more? That's something you got to figure out. Now, again, I know there's a lot of speculation here, but fans are asking these questions, especially if they see a referee out there not only making bad calls, but clearly changing the momentum of the game. And you can tell that things are not going the way they're supposed to, that they're a little too involved with the outcome. That's questionable. And if they get caught in a scandal now, it's like, okay, how can you trust the league? With all this gambling going on, I definitely have some concerns because, as a fan, it makes you wonder, okay, was that game fixed? Did that player, go into FanDuel and make a bet for his over and under and decide to go under tonight just to mess with some consumers? Those are concerns. We just saw this with the Toronto Raptors where they cut a player because he was involved with gambling. So I just wonder how the NBA is going to keep this under control. Because if you got a reporter working for a gambling company, there's likely some agendas going on, especially in his reporting. Now, we know about the Scoot Henderson situation, and then obviously with the Sixers situation. I don't know the betting lines for Paul George, whether he was likely to go to the Sixers, but to make that tweet so early and to be completely wrong, it makes you wonder, okay, did he do that? because of the company he's worked for, or did he just hear that as an actual source? So those questions will continue to happen as you go forward because of who you're associated with. And I hope that nothing major comes out. Would I be surprised if we see a massive scandal go down? No, I would not. Too much temptation, too much money involved where you can do things that you can accelerate your profits, and it can get really nasty very quickly. But again, we'll see how this all plays out. Just thought I'd give you my thoughts on, I noticed that Shams is working for this company, and I hope it doesn't become a PR disaster because the NBA does not need anything that's negative, especially when it comes to gambling. That would be really bad for them. And it would be a lot to earn the trust of their fans again. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Shams working for FanDuel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.